All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akal Kodash. The belongings to the elders and apostles of great and stone. Shalom to the elect which in his word in truth and in sincerity. With the hope of receiving the mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of God and Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of his own begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, enduringly nearly called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson concerning pseudoscience, witchcraft, and this ain't gonna be long, This was motivated by just a small clip that I saw that the spirit was just upon me to attack it, So this is not gonna be a long video. It could be less than even 10 minutes. So let's get into it. So this is Galatians 5 verse 19. No, the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, envy, murder, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So the main word that I really wanted to zoom in on in this is witchcraft in verse 20. And it's pharmakia, where you get the word pharmacy from. So you have an understanding where I'm really going into. So the Greek word is pharmakia. So it's an outline of biblical usage. The use or the administrating of drugs. So the listener, and this is the word for witchcraft, because when people hear about witchcraft, them only I met some woman or man with them wrap up, and you go get them rub up and them oil up. you know the works, because it get glorified now more than ever in Jamaica. Poisoning. And a lot of time I get poison, like you boy when them shut down the world and I go into the poison they take. And the whole on who run go take the poison, Let me not say whole on, the majority of you. Well, she says sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry and fostered by it. So this is metaphoric. The deceptions and seduction of idolatry. So let me go into the clip that inspired me to go into that whole thing about witchcraft, the administrating of drugs. And this is our movie star going to outline on how they use deception to manipulate the simple.
I've never agreed with psychiatry, ever. Psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
But Tom, if she said that this particular thing helped her feel better, whether it was the antidepressant or going to a counselor or a psychiatrist, isn't that enough?
Matt, you have to understand this. Here we are today, where I talk out against drugs. Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is, this was not against her will, though. But this wasn't against Brooke's will.
Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Aren't there examples, and might not Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs?
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does. That's all it does. You're not getting to the reason why. There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance.
So postpartum depression to you is
Matt,
kind of a little psychological gobbledygook?
No, I did not say that.
I'm just asking, what would you call it?
Matt, that is the post. Now you're talking about two different things.
But that's what she went on the antidepressant for.
But what happens, the antidepressant, all it does is mask the problem. There's ways of vitamins and through exercise and various things. I'm not saying that that isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. That's an alteration of what I'm saying. I'm saying that drugs aren't the answer. That these drugs are very dangerous. They're mind-altering, antipsychotic drugs. And they're...
Now I'm pause this for a minute, you know, because a precept came to mind. A precept came to mind right while I was here, you know. Let me go for Psalms 140. I'm going to start at 1. It said, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. And who is that war against? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And you are unaware that you are in a warrior, but your enemies, they know. They have built the infrastructure to have you oppressed and ever dependent, you know. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, they might open up the eyes of the simple so we can understand and know who we really are and who is our enemy. Verse 3, they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, others' poison is under their lips. And that's basically where the movie star basically I said. Because these things are not helpful for you. You know? You need to come to the root of the cause. And most times when things are wrong with the body, it's health issues. It's gone the things that you consume, things that you put in your body. Because we eat in real life supposed to heal you. But we have been lied to so much that even your food is poison. The movies we watch is poisonous to the mind. The music we listen is poisonous to the ear. You know, even the clothes and the texture we wear have an effect on the body. We are in a constant battle with our enemy. And the thing is, our people don't even know that the war has begun. It never stopped. Let me say that here. The enmity between Jacob and Esau, the enmity, it's still there. Till this day. Go into this word for a minute. I'm going to look at the word poison here. Serpent. So let's continue reading. Verse 3 again. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, others' poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords they have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. So let's take a look back on this clip.
Psychotic drugs. And there are ways of doing it without that so that we don't end up in a brave new world.
Controversy over a new depression study. You may have seen a wave of headlines this week saying that a new study shows basically everything we thought we knew about depression isn't true. And you've probably heard this before, that depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain, specifically serotonin. It's on this premise that the majority of antidepressants are based, which represent a more than $11 billion global market. More than 37 million Americans take antidepressants, most of them SSRIs, which work to correct the balance of serotonin. So this newspaper summarizes that there is in fact no hard evidence to support that depression is caused by a disturbance of the brain's serotonin.
This seems to me like a landmark set of results, that this could be a total game changer in the way that we tackle.
Amen. And truth and fact, these people who have met these various things, you know, because if you ever speak too heavily on certain things, you know, you say I give out medical information, you know, and you are not a doctor. On a real level, yo, none of these things that them build for no. This is not for a betterment, yo. And these things are gonna have some form of effect on the body and how the brain function, you know, because they might come up with lies, so they believe them. All people, everybody will say them, I got through depression, you know. Right now, at the time, people are depressed, we don't have a clue what's coming, you know. But something will come and wake hold on out of that depression state, they don't know. You're not going to know about antidepressant, you know. I just fear and dread are going to run through the inhabitants of the earth in the times to come. And that's the reality what we need to wake up to.
Depression in this country.
So there's been an idea around for a long time that actually the evidence about serotonin doesn't stack up, that there are studies out there that are negative or inconclusive, but no one before has got all the research together and looked at it in total and found that not one single area of research on serotonin, at least the main areas, really provides any convincing evidence that depression is associated with low serotonin levels.
But then, what is depression associated with? What causes it? And I mean, we're talking about a debilitating condition, and we're going to come to... So what is causing the problem?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Of course, there's research going on into lots of other possible biological causes and has been for decades, but none of them have come up with any more convincing evidence than the evidence on serotonin. The evidence on serotonin is one of the areas that's been most thoroughly researched over the last few decades. So my interpretation of this research is that we need to look at depression differently. We need to stop seeing it as a brain disorder.
And I think it's been extraordinary because, you know, this has been such a prevalent idea for so many years, and we've shown that actually it's not supported by the...
Yo, in reality, when I look upon it, you have some people that go through some real life trauma issues. You see, we play upon them, yo, and that is understandable. But you have some people them get upon them just say them depressed. What the fuck depress you, yo? But yeah, go through what have you shaking up like that. Well, I just love find excuse for your life not going the way you want it to, yo. You know? Looking at your friends' life and the people them want to usually know on these social media platforms, you know? And you're not depressed because you know they're on certain levels. You don't have no car, you don't have no house, you don't have no family. Get the fuck up, man, and do something about it. That's not something to bow you up, depressed. I go through depression about. You have people that go through way worse things, yo. You know, if you say them depressed, look on the people them in Gaza right now. That them people that feel bad about depression, yo. As it's in Psalm say, oh, they search out iniquity, they accomplish a diligent search. This is all Esau does, yo. Because them telling them that chemical imbalance, just so them can sell them products. That's part of the whole witchcraft, part of the whole enchantment, yo. Part of the whole sorcery. And then promote it heavily on these advertisements. Part of the witchcraft, again, channel it. Push that spirit out there through various mediums. You know? But as I said, I wasn't gonna make this video long. And it's way longer than I even thought I would have made it. But hey, everything is through the spirit. So I hope this is edifying. That I want to say halal, how Shimi how Shai, Shimi Kakadash. Shalom.